Hello and good morning to all of you. Welcome to the BSSS e-Content Cell. My name is Amir Mehboob, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Today, in this module, we'll be talking on some important aspects of English language. Yes, basic language skills. As we all know that English is an important language and it is a very useful language for all of us. So, friends, as far as this language is concerned, we need to update and upgrade ourselves in various aspects and in various areas. So, today we will be talking in this section, we will be talking about the various topics, that is vocabulary, what actually vocabulary is all about, what are the various types of vocabulary and various examples of vocabulary, synonyms and antonyms, differences between synonyms and antonyms, word formation, prefixes, suffixes, and two parts of speech, that is noun and pronoun. What are different types of nouns, pronouns with their uses and examples. So, to begin with, we talk about vocabulary. In any language, not only in English language, vocabulary plays a very important role. It is vocabulary which makes language beautiful. Selection of words, selection of vocabulary is very important and must be dealt with extreme care. So many times it so happens that we want to speak something, we want to convey a particular message, but we don't get the right word at the right time. So, friends, improving your vocabulary, enhancing your vocabulary is an ongoing process. The more we read, the more we increase our vocabulary, and your vocabulary will make your language impressive, attractive and more meaningful. And of course, that is what is all our intention about. So, what is vocabulary? Vocabulary is, of course, the words that exist in any particular language or in any particular subject. In other words, we can say every subject, every language has got its own vocabulary. In simple words, we can say vocabulary is all language and words either used or understood by a person or group of people. Definitely, vocabulary conveys some message. Vocabulary word bank is also a type of vocabulary. There are various examples of vocabulary. We know so many words. When we talk about English language, you see a dictionary full of vocabulary. If we don't know the meaning of any particular vocabulary, we consult a dictionary. We get the right word. Of course, so many words. These are some examples of vocabulary, and a number of examples you can take alphabetically and in any form. Technical vocabulary, but important thing is technical jargon should be avoided. You know, roundabout verbiage, some words which are extensive, exhausted or big or bombastic. We always try to make use of some simple and understandable vocabulary, so that the objective of our conversation, the objective of our communication and the objective of our language is achieved. There are so many examples of vocabulary we can take. Basically, there are two types of vocabulary: active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. Learners, active vocabulary consists of the words we understand and use in everyday speaking and writing, in our day-to-day course of business. In our day-to-day life, we use this vocabulary frequently, which is easily understandable, which is easy to use, and of course, which makes our sentences look good and meaningful. On the other hand, passive vocabulary is made of words that we may recognize, but don't generally use in the course of normal communication, normal language. These are some examples of active vocabulary. So, simple words: information, thanks, music, person, read, problem, literature, language. Vocabulary itself is an example of active vocabulary, whereas passive vocabulary are some technical jargon, some words which we know but we avoid to use, we don't use frequently. These are some examples of passive vocabulary. So, what is the difference between active vocabulary and passive vocabulary? You know, active vocabulary is vocabulary that we can recall and use at will whenever the situation arises, whenever the situation requires. We choose the use of word and actively retrieve it from memory. Whereas on the other hand, passive vocabulary, we can listen and understand. Hearing the vocabulary used prompts to recall its meaning. In other words, we know that word, but we are not using that vocabulary so often and frequently. Some more examples of type of vocabulary. We have reading vocabulary. Of course, what is reading vocabulary? Any person's vocabulary is all words they can recognize while they are reading. When you are reading a newspaper or a magazine or any book, you can recognize. And then listening vocabulary, on the other hand, is all the words they can recognize when they listen to speech. People may still understand words they were not exposed to before using cues such as the tone of the word, the gesture, the topic of discussion, and the social context of the conversation. Next, we have speaking vocabulary. A person's speaking vocabulary is all the words that we use in our speech. Writing vocabulary are words which are used in various forms of writing, from normal essays to social media forms. Many written words do not commonly appear in our speech. Writers generally use a limited set of words when communicating. Now, after talking about the topic vocabulary, we move to the next topic, which is of course also related to the term vocabulary, that is synonyms and antonyms. What are synonyms and antonyms? You might have heard these terms so many times. You have been learning these words. In examination, you are asked, write down the synonyms of the following words, write down the antonyms of the following words. In Hindi also, in other languages also, we have synonyms and antonyms. It is very necessary to know the synonyms and antonyms of particular words, because so many times, to avoid monotony, not to become monotonous in our language, we require synonyms and antonyms, because we want to convey the meaning of a particular word in a different manner. For that purpose, we use synonyms. So, dear learners, what are synonyms? Synonyms in simple language, simple words we can say, are those words which have got the same meaning, or phrases that mean exactly the same or another word. In every language, synonyms are very necessary. Some examples of synonym: words having the same meaning or similar meaning. The word begin may have many synonyms like start, commence, initiate. You can use different words to avoid monotony, not to become boring, monotone. All synonyms of one another, they are all synonyms. They are synonymous. The standard test for synonymy is substitution, or substituting one form which can be replaced by another in a sentence without changing its meaning. Mind you, I repeat, without changing its meaning. They can be lifesavers, when you want to avoid repeating the same word over and over again and again. Sometimes the word you have in mind might not be almost appropriate word, which is why finding the right synonym can be very handy and useful. These are some examples of synonyms. Come can have several synonyms. Go can have several synonyms like depart or disappear or fade, move, proceed, travel. Then do has got so many synonyms. Execute has got the same meaning. Enact, carry out, finish, conclude, effect, accomplish. So many other examples are here for your kind perusal. You can get so good example and good knowledge about the synonyms of these words. Then next we come to antonyms. Antonyms are just the opposites of synonyms. Means antonyms are those words that have contrasting or opposite meaning. I repeat, antonyms are those words which have contrasting or opposite meanings. Like so much of the English language, antonyms are of course required so many times in our language. An antonym is the opposite of another word, Antonyms can be used by all of us, by speakers of any language, to help show contrast between two things or to give clues to exactly what is meant below. These are some examples of some antonyms for all of you. The opposite meaning: beautiful can have the antonym ugly. Investigate, ignore. Freedom, the antonym of freedom could be slavery. He is a very anxious person. The antonym of anxious could be calm. Silence, the opposite of silence could be sound. He is very silent. Monarchy, democracy. Smile, he has a smiling face. Antonym of his smiling face could be he has a frowning face. Anger, love, hate. So many examples. Now, after having the meaning and examples of synonyms and antonyms clear, dear learners, we move to the next topic of the day, that is word formation. Word formation is also very important for any language. So many times we need to form words, keeping in mind a strong barrier of communication, that is semantic barrier. Semantic barrier, as you all know, one word can have different connotations, different meanings. So, in any language, word formation is the creation of a new word. Word formation is sometimes contrasted with semantic change. Again, I repeat, you need to take care of the semantic change. Means in what reference or in what perception that word is being used. Different words may have different meanings. So, semanticism should be taken care of, which is a change in a single word's meaning. Semantic change means a change in a single word's meaning. There are different types of word formation, like we have compounding word formation, derivation word formation, which is creation of words by modification of the root without the addition of other root. Then we have affixation, then we have blending formation of words, clipping, then we have acronyms, reanalysis, then we have got folk etymology, analogy, creative repelling, and novel creation. Novel creation is nothing but where a creator or a writer forms a word without starting from other morphism. It is as if the word is formed out of the whole cloth without reusing any part of the cloth. Word formation, dear learners, is an important aspect, and it has to be learned and developed with continuous practice, and of course with a lot of reading habits. Reading healthy things, good newspapers, magazines, your subject books, your course books will definitely enhance your skill of word formation, which will in turn help your language become rich and of course meaningful. Next, we move to the topic prefixes and suffixes. A prefix is a letter or group of letters that is added at the beginning of a word to change its meaning. A prefix, in other words, is an affix which is placed before stem of a word. Adding to the beginning of the word changes it into another word. For example, when the word prefix un is added to happy, it creates the word unhappy, that is happy, unhappy. Legible, illegible. Visible, invisible. Audible, inaudible. Okay. Dis, dis is also a prefix. Satisfied, dissatisfied. So, particularly in the study of language, a prefix is also called a performative, because it alters the form of the word to which it is added or affixed. These are some examples of some common prefixes which we of course so often require and we use. Exist, coexist, original or against, okay. Opposite, we have got so many words. Then enact, enact, impress, disimpress, and so many other prefixes you can think. Now, suffixes are of course those words or letters or a group of letters attached to the end of a word. If prefixes are added in the beginning, suffixes are added at the end. So, in simple words, dear learners, we can say a suffix is a letter or a word of letters attached to the end of a word to form a new word or to change the grammatical function of the word. For example, the verb read is made into the noun reader by adding the suffix er. Similarly, read is made can be converted as an adjective by adding able, that is a suffix. Read, readable. Read, reader. These are some examples of suffixes for all of you. You can go through these examples of suffixes, and of course, by adding these prefixes and suffixes, you can actually play and you can actually get the beauty of vocabulary. So, now let's move to the last topic of the day, two parts of speeches, that is noun and pronoun. We all know what are nouns. Noun is used to identify any of a class of people, place, animal, things or ideas, or to name a particular one of these. There are so many nouns. Noun is the name of a person, place, animal or a thing. So many nouns we use so often. Noun have the ability to perform different functions in a sentence. In any sentence, noun can play the role of a subject or a direct object or indirect object or subject complement, object complement or opposite. What is a subject? Subjects are nouns that tell us whom or what a sentence is about. Okay, for example, the man stepped on my toes. What is the subject here? Man. The car is smashed into a wall. What is the subject here? Car. Both of them fell down the stairs. What is the subject here? Both. Then we have got objects and indirect objects. Okay, these are some examples of subject and predicate. Now, after having the meaning of subject clear, what is predicate? Predicate nouns are those which rename the subject. They come after linking words. For example, the tribal chief is the fattest man in the tribe. Okay, now man is a predicate here because it is the rename of the subject. Okay. These are the different types of nouns. It can be, a concrete noun, abstract noun. We have countable and uncountable nouns, collective nouns, compound nouns, possessive nouns, regular nouns and irregular nouns. Concrete nouns are divided into two parts, that is common noun and proper noun. For example, a car, a dog, any name or the name of any country or any city. Then we have abstract noun, we for example, drawback, fraction, hold out or fiction, etc. We have countable and uncountable nouns which can be counted and which cannot be counted, like we have pen, books, girl, chair. Water is an uncountable noun, rice, etc. Now, here you should also know we use much with countable noun with uncountable nouns, and we use many with uncountable nouns. Then we have collective noun like school, colony, class or bunch. Then we have compound nouns, for example, myself or classmate or output, etc. Possessive nouns are boy, for example, possess, who is the possessor of that thing? Boy's ball or a girl's doll or my friend's house. Then regular plural nouns are, cars, bags, pens, books, etc. Whereas irregular plural nouns are men, women, people, feet, teeth, children, etc. A common noun, on the other hand, is a noun that refers to people or things in general. For example, boy, country, bris, city, birth, day, happiness, etc. These are some more examples of proper noun, countable nouns, uncountable nouns, collective nouns for all of you. Collective nouns, are nouns that refer to a group of something in a particular. Often a collective nouns are used to refer to group of animals, a crowd, or a stack of librarians, or a colony of girls, or a batch of cakes. Then there are some combinations of collective nouns also. Compound nouns contains two or more words that join together to make a single noun. Compound noun, like for example, a bedroom, a six-pack, a tennis shore, a seashore. Then concrete noun is a noun which refers to people and to things that exist physically and can be seen, touched, smelled, heard or tasted, which we can see. For example, a dog, a building, coffee, tree, beach, etc. Abstract noun is a noun which refers to ideas, qualities and conditions, things that cannot be seen or touched, and things which have no physical reality. For example, truth, anger, danger, happiness, time, friendship, humor, love, they all come under abstract nouns. Finally, we come to the last topic of the day, that is pronouns. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun in a sentence. Pronouns are used to avoid repeating the same noun over and again. For example, Tom is a good boy. Now, in place of Tom, you can use he. He gets up early in the morning. Second example could be the coach selected several key points. Now, in place of coach, you can use he wanted. So, in other words, in simple words, we can say pronouns are those words that replace a noun in a sentence. So, those words which come in place of noun, they are known as pronouns. Like for example, he, she, it, they, so many other examples. There are different types of pronouns: subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, intensive pronouns, relative pronouns, and so on. These are some examples. We have demonstrative pronouns also, interrogative pronouns, which are also included in the types of pronouns. So, learners, this was something about language. This was something about vocabulary. So, as I told you in the very beginning, that if you want to master the art of language, if you want to become a good speaker, not only in speaking but also in writing, when you are writing essays or you are writing your examination papers, you need to work on this module, you need to work on this topic, that is vocabulary. Vocabulary building, enhancement of vocabulary. You need to have a desire to improve your vocabulary. For that, you need to develop a habit of reading, listening, consulting dictionaries, and of course knowing the meanings of the word. If you come across a difficult word in dictionary, try to know the meaning of that word. If you, while reading, when you come across a new word or difficult word, get the meaning and try to use that word in your sentence, in your language, so that that word is added in your vocabulary bank or your word bank. Because you don't want your tongue to get stuck when you are talking, when you are writing, when you are speaking. Your hand will get stuck, because if we don't get the right word at the right time, we might fall a sorry figure. So friends, happy learning, happy improving. Work hard on your vocabulary and be a smart, active, impressive, and of course an excellent language person. And of course, that will help you not only increase your career graph, not only improve your career, but also you will be able to impress people and you will be able to improve your language. Thank you very much and God bless you all.